If there's any one thing that I can tell you about hunting with Chris is, no matter what happens, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, he's gonna smile about it. He's gonna have a good time.
Chris Ward is in Kansas. Every year, everyone else gets to kill the big Kansas buck. Last year, Jason Bowers took down Fishhook, a mega giant that had eluded him for years.
This is a deer we call Fishhook.
In years past, Eric Hell has killed this mega giant named BB.
What a deer, a legend.
That same year, Chris also killed Boyne.
Happy hunter in Kansas tonight.
But in the following years, Chris hasn't had the best of luck in Kansas, but has overcame obstacles every step of the way.
I got on him last night.
This year, Chris Ward is holding out for one of the giants on this Kansas ground with his expedition bow.
Hale and Ward in the tree in Kansas. It's been a couple years. Chris and I always have epic hunts in Kansas. I can't wait. I'm jacked up. I'm excited. Game on. Let's get this done. Preparation is the key to anything that you want to be successful in. Every year I'm going to go out, we're going to put our trail cameras up, we're going to trim lanes, we're going to hang tree stands so that when we come out, we are ready to go.
We've finally made it to the great state of Kansas. Just put the trail camera up and I'm getting ready to pour out some of this monster meal and I'm going to put it right in front of the camera. We've said it 100 times, we'll say it 100 more. On this post right here, you're going to get the majority of every buck that's on this farm. We have a good idea of what we have on this farm, so we're going to pour some of this out and in a few days, we're going to know.
Here are the bucks Chris is hoping to see while hunting in Kansas.
I am up to bat in Kansas. First time in, the wind's right. There's absolutely no doubt about where I'm going. Super funnel. A lot of people like to use this bag, whether they're out of state at a motel, you know, wherever they're staying, they like to take the bag inside, charge it. Me personally, I use the scent crusher closet. I don't have that luxury when I'm on the road out of state, so I like to keep mine in the truck. Plug it into the cigarette lighter. When I get to where I'm hunting, get it out, put my clothes on in the field. Man. Perfect.
Oh, the super funnel. Your first time in is always your best time, and when you go in there on that first morning with a northwest wind, you're gonna have to make a choice of whether to shoot or not.
We like to push the envelope. We're really pushing it this morning. The wind is just iffy. Just if it'll just stay on this one line, we think that we're gonna be okay because they want to walk with wind in their face. Big bucks just do. It's borderline. That's what you get with hot temperatures and low pressure. Just swirls.
I know for a fact that a mature deer is going to walk by the super funnel this morning. Now, whether or not he's got 130 inches on his head or 180, I don't know.
What deer's he's old. I'm not going to shoot him, Eric.
In this world, it kills me more than to see a big 5, 6, 7-year-old buck come in your roundhouse, leave, and you don't shoot him. I'm dying for him to shoot him. I just love to see a mature buck get close to him and get him. Chris has been holding on for a Kansas tag, a good one, for 2 years. I'll ride it until we die, man.
We're in the super funnel. This buck comes in, and he's an older class buck, probably 5 or 6. And I have always loved hunting with Eric. The thing that frustrates me the most about hunting with him is every single time a mature deer comes by, a deer that there's no way in a million years that he would ever shoot, hey, you need to shoot this deer. That's a good buck. That's old buck. You need to take this deer. I know what he's doing. He's wanting me to go ahead and shoot a deer so he can get behind the bow. I'm not stupid. I'm holding out this time. For once, I'm holding out.
Make sure you subscribe and like the page. On top of that,
make sure you click the little notification bell. That way you'll be one of the first ones to know when a new video drops.
Chris Ward has waited out 2 years for this Kansas tag. Because of this, he elects to pass the first old buck that shows up on the very first day.
The weather and the timing of the rut can be huge. Some years they're closer together, some years they're farther apart. If they're close together and everything comes together, the rut can be magical. We're here at the right time. The problem is the weather is not conducive to what our deer want to do. It's hot, it's windy.
It starts warming up and it's nothing but south winds. And guess what? We don't have many south sets.
We're not seeing any deer, and I don't know if there's any deer here, except for one. Last night, it was so hot, it was a terrible wind, south wind. We could not hunt any of the sets that we had, none. So right before dark, I made a loop around the section here, and I rode by here, and what looked like a big boy was standing right here. We were at the stairway to heaven. Guess what? We don't have a bow stand here, so it's midday, it's November 5th. Jason and Eric 4 years ago hung a bow set out of this tree. No deer's ever been killed on this set with a bow. That's gonna change. That's gonna change this week because we're gonna hang a set.
You know what's hilarious?
What?
Is that what people on TV land don't realize is we say that, oh man, I've hung this stand. This is money. This set, I'm gonna kill one right here tomorrow. Then you don't kill one. Then you go hang another stand and say, oh, this is the best place I've ever picked.
What they don't realize, this is the fourth time I've done this exact interview on different spots around the farm saying I was gonna kill something, so one of them's gonna work. As you can see, Jason and Eric picked the straightest tree that they could find for our set here. That should be fun.
Hey, now we'll show you just how smart you are and just how much babysitting you need. Your stand there, Brainiac, is right there in that nice straight tree. If you look, oh, wow, there's places where limbs were cut off of it. We're a bow hunter.
I see an old stand in that tree, so I thought it was that tree.
The one 10 yards behind it right there.
I didn't see that, you jerk.
Now, I'm here to tell you, sometimes there's just people make dumb mistakes, and then there's just plain stupid, and that was just plain stupid. He wouldn't kill crap if we didn't help him.
I was wondering how you was going to put a stand in that tree.
You even got the light going on in your beard. You should be getting smarter about it.
I got shaved tonight. Bring these strips.
I love everything about deer hunting, but one of the things I really love is that if you get thrown a curveball, you've got to adapt. So it refreshes things. Even though I've hunted this farm for 15 years, one thing that we, in the last 2 years, are dealing with that in the past we typically don't deal with is south winds. Everybody's had to deal with it this year, and this year was more prevalent, so we adapt.
It's November 9th. We came in on this set. I'm telling you, it's one of the best cruising spots I've ever seen. There's trails everywhere.
This buck was up off his feet and immediately shows up. However, he never gives Chris a clear shot.
I am feeling that today's the day. The bucks are finally on their feet, cruising around. We had a buck this morning, caught straight under the tree, and he was just behind a bunch of brush and stuff and walked away. And with these bucks up, I'm thinking I'm gonna get a shot. Our Brandon trail cameras are showing that there's 3-4 shooters coming in almost every day, every other day. Got a gut instinct, today is the day. We had been struggling, and this is unusual for Kansas. And we had plenty of days, but you know, Eric hadn't even had a chance to hunt yet, and it was like 7 days, no good opportunities, 8 days, no good opportunities. And it seems like all of a sudden, overnight, which it does every year, that flip just switched. It rained all night last night and quit right at daylight. And it's got them up on their feet. They're getting the best of us now, but I'm gonna get one of these old Kansas bucks. You watch. So we are on a new set that we had hung simply because of the south wind. It's up above the super funnel. We see this real wide 8-pointer. We had pictures of him, we knew the deer, so I start calling to him with my Cherokee and tickled the antlers a little bit.
he literally comes to the base of the tree. It's one of those situations that if you've ever filmed, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. I actually had a shot opportunity at the deer, but Eric was trying to get the camera around the tree, and by the time he did, for no reason whatsoever, deer had no clue we were there, he turned and walked directly away from us.
There's nothing more frustrating to reach out and call a deer and get him to come straight to the base of the tree and still not get an arrow in him. That is miserable.
And again, another encounter with a buck Chris would love to take a shot at. But again, it doesn't happen.
We've hung in some shady looking stuff over the years, but not that. I wouldn't climb in that for nothing.
The deer are finally on their feet, the bucks, and we decided to go up to the Stairway to Heaven to check our camera. And every morning and every evening, there was a mature buck. So Eric said, hey, there's no doubt where we're going tonight.
Go ahead and subscribe to our channel, like it. You're gonna get that little notification bell. It's gonna go off, let you know when something new hits. Follow, subscribe. Happy hunting this fall. We love everybody. Thank you again.
After several days hunting in Kansas, Chris is going big buck or bust, as he's been holding out to kill one of the bigger Kansas bucks showing up on the Browning camera.
Chris and I have been here for about a week. We've struggled a little bit. Now, we've had opportunities, but we're looking for one or two particular deer. And tonight's the night. We've got a perfect east wind, which is this set is perfect for. It's November the 11th. I just know something good's gonna happen tonight.
We are back at the Stairway to Heaven set. We were here, I don't know, 4 or 5 evenings ago. Had an encounter with a big 10. And that old 10 that I keep passing busted out of the timber and pushed him away. We feel like that most of the does have been bred because these bucks the last couple of days have been up on their feet cruising more. I mean, it's been dead. It's been dead for the last 10 days.
It's evening hunt. Eric and I get up in the tree, and it's just one of those evenings that I know every hunter's felt it. You just know, something's getting ready to happen. It wasn't long. I look up, I see some deer coming out into the field, and behind these does is this 10-pointer. It's the deer I'm after, it's the deer I want. Eric's after another deer, but that is the one that I wanted from day one. I knew without a doubt I was gonna get a shot at this deer. It was just a matter of him taking basically one more step. I have no reason why. I can't figure it out to this day. I've replayed it 100 times in my mind, but he absolutely just turned on a dime and headed right back into the woods. I was sick.
Chris had another encounter with a different 10-pointer that he'd have been happy to shoot. But this one heads back into the woods too.
Yeah. Like 60 when I stopped. 60 something. I just don't know what to say anymore. This has been the suckiest rut.
Well, it's getting darker, and at this point, I had had enough. I was ready to sling some arrows, and I look up, and 200 yards away, there's this buck. The deer's out there. He's actually with does. He's pushing them around a little bit. There's no way I'm gonna call this deer off his does.
If you've got a buck that's 150 to 200 yards from you, don't be afraid if you've got a good position on him to call to him. Deer's 200 yards off, cruising, looking for a doe. He's in the mood, he's in that right frame of mind. Suck him to the tree.
Well, I hit that Cherokee bone call. He turned, I could tell by his body posture, he was coming in. Told Eric, I said, get ready, I'm gonna shoot this deer.
Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you click the notification bell, you'll be one of the first to know when we drop a video.
Chris has been hunting all week in Kansas, facing challenging wind direction and the fact the 2 deer he's after aren't up on their feet. Chris finally has a big buck at 200 yards, seeking a hot doe.
I know Chris wants to kill a giant, but there's only so many deer that he can let walk by him before the Chris Ward that I know shows up and sticks an arrow in one.
Well, I hit that Cherokee bone call. He turned, I could tell by his body posture, he was coming in. Told Eric, I said, get ready, I'm gonna shoot this deer. The deer's coming in, he's walking right in front of me.
Dude, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. This has been the most frustrating ups and downs hunt of my life. It's the 10th day and I called it this morning, Eric. I said, today I'm gonna kill a deer because yesterday they were on their feet for the first time. It's been complete lockdown. I said, I want the 10, the big 10. That's the deer I'm after. And I'm thinking that's him. I rattled just a little bit and I grunted. He came right in. I mean, he came right in, Eric. 27 yards right there. He's not yardstick. He's not the big 10. He's not the big 8 I'd seen. But you know what? He's the deer that walked by me that night. And after 9 days, he's the deer that got shot. Man, look at that moon. It was high in the sky when we got to the stand today. That's probably why that buck was out here at 2:30, lighted knocking the field. Love it. Honestly, don't know if I've ever seen an arrow more covered in blood in my life. That's amazing. I've said it before and I'll say it again, that dead ringer, Rick James Super Freak, will absolutely open them up. And we're shooting these victory arrows this year, and I'm not used to this smaller arrow, and I'm loving it. I'm shooting it better than any arrow I've ever shot. There's a 100% chance this deer's dead. Usually I have to find them the next day. I think I'll actually find this one tonight. Let me tell you something. We thought he fell right behind this cedar, and right here, we're right behind it. Look, I have never in my life seen this much blood spraying like, I mean, it is amazing. I see him down there. Dang, son. Look at that neck. Yeah, he's better than I thought he was. Look at that mass, dude. He carries that mass all the way. Look at those brows, bladed. Look at that. I didn't know if I knew this deer. Actually, when I first shot him, I thought he was a big 10. He's not. After we looked at the footage, I said, I don't know if I know that deer, but I do. This is the 9. We've got him on camera, and 2 mornings ago, we were on the south side set of the super funnel, and he was down below us at the creek, and we tried to call to him and get him to come in, and he wouldn't come on up the hill. But I remember at the time thinking, man, that deer has got some serious mass. Serious mass. I mean, look at that. Look at those bases. I can't get my fingers around those bases. And he absolutely just carries it all the way through. It's like bananas down here. And I'm telling you, I am absolutely tickled to death with him. It seems like me and Eric, we can never just, Jason is the luckiest person I've ever seen in my life. But it's like me and Eric, we struggle every time. And we came out and they were on complete lockdown. This has been an unbelievable hunt. I got a great deer. I'm tickled to death with him. And it's just a special place. I look forward to it every year that I go out there. It's Veterans Day, and I told Eric, I said, today's the day, I'm gonna get it done. Today's the day I'm gonna kill my deer. And we have had encounters with different shooters today, and this was the first one I got a shot at. And let me tell you something, I am happy. I am tickled to death, and he's gonna look good on my Virginia wall. It has been a struggle. Look at that deer, Eric.
We may struggle, but what always happens?
We always get it done.
I know Chris wanted to leave with an absolute giant off his Kansas farm. We had a couple. It just didn't happen. And you know what? Chris had had enough. When that deer came in, gave him a great shot. He's just as happy as if that would have been a 190. And tickled to death. My brother, we've done it again, hell and war. It always ends up good, and can't wait to do it again.
You know what? Eric's up to bat on a world-class whitetail, and we'll just wait and see what happens.